Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about Zoe Valentine Season 2, the Rundown Review. So, the second season was made right after the first. I don't know how much part in time. I don't know if they filmed them back to back, or they took probably like a month or so off, but both seasons dropped in the same year. And I have to say, both seasons are, for the most part, similar but drastically different. Like, okay, one problem I had with the first season, it was the pacing. The pacing was very choppy. It was kind of all over the place, and so many months passed by, but you don't realize it in like 7 episodes. Also, some of the dialogue was a bit awkward and cringy and a little bit over the top. And so, but as we were getting to know our characters and stuff, also there was some character development that just came out of nowhere, like with Allison and stuff. She's mean throughout the entire thing, and then to the very last moment, she's nice. And it's kind of like, well, when did this happen? Because she was still mean before that, and kind of. And so the first season, while not terrible, it's not perfect either. Like, there's some flaws in the first season. Structure rise, writing rise, and I've said this before. They need to be longer than 11 minutes, and they need to be longer than that of 7 or 8 episodes and stuff. But for the most part, I do like how ambitious the first season is. I like how, like, it's a melodrama that just so happens to be a teen show. Problem with the second season is you can clearly tell this is a teen show that just so happens to have a little bit of melodrama in it, but it's mostly just teen drama stuff that we've all seen before. What was so unique about the first season is that this is a girl trying to cope with the loss of her sister, who she lost a year ago to cancer. A sister that was very popular in school, a school that she is now going to for the first time, and all eyes on her. And she doesn't like that. She's shy, she's quiet, she's awkward, she's nerdy. She only has one friend in the entire world because of some weird pact they made. She wanted to do magic because it makes her sister happy. So as a result, he wanted to do it too because he had a crush on her. And he said, in magic, you're not supposed to reveal no secrets. So her pact that she made was, okay, fine, we'll just never make friends and stuff like that. A weird pact, but whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then later on that got broken because she started to make friends with her sister friends. So all of her friends in high school were about 2 years older than her. They were juniors and stuff. And she also made a frenemy as a result, Allison, who didn't like her sister. And so, yeah, so it was mostly just her going through the ropes, going through the motions, and being this rock star who doesn't want to be a rock star. And her best friend Brody was also going through like a little bit of a change himself. He's this nerdy guy who wants to stay nerdy and just wants to stay with that Zoe. But then she causes him to break out of his shell. He ends up somehow getting played by the popular girl in school, and his self-esteem goes up. Then there's some other things going on with Isaac. Yeah, Isaac, not Jacob, Isaac, who was the ex of her sister Chloe, and it turns out he is closeted and everything. He's very scared of what other people might think, especially his friend's Boots. So it's typical teen drama stuff, but the way they did it was so melodrama that it felt a bit more mature than that of a teen show. And then also you have to think about her parents. Her mom is very grumpy and mean. Her dad has lost his job. He is sleeping on the couch every night. Her dad is suffering from depression as a result of losing his job and the strained relationship with his wife. It turns out the wife is cheating on him with that of the doctor, the cancer doctor, her daughter's cancer doctor. And Zoe finds that out. And it's all because her and her mom do not get along. And because Chloe was the favorite. And so it was all this melodrama stuff. But then you get into the second season and it just feels like a teen show. Because see, the thing about the first season is that it knew it was a teen show that wanted to be more, but they had to be pulled back because they're like, "Are you going a little bit too far?" There are kids at a party. They have red cups. We know what's in those red cups. They don't let us know. There are kids sitting on the couch looking stoned, but there's no smoke, but we know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So it was also, and then also, and it was pretty deep with the whole parents and the dad's depression and then death of a sister. Didn't find out the sister cheated on her boyfriend because she knew he was closeted and she was being bearded, and she had another boyfriend who was also a cancer survivor, and he's heartbroken and everything. And so there was all this stuff. Plus, all this stuff going around. And then now in the second season, a lot of this has been dropped. And in fact, in the second season, Zoe is a very unlikable character in the second season, surprisingly. Now, I was very shocked and surprised to see this, but throughout the entire season, she gets to the point where she's very unlikable. Now, she's still a likable, perky person, but then she's also so, like, I don't know. She just hurts a lot of people's feelings in this season. So it's kind of like, what exactly is she going through? Now, she is going through some stuff that's a little bit differently than that of the first season. She still has the pain of her sister's death. She still has the pain of her parents' strained relationship. But now there's some new things going on with her that I'll get to a little bit later. Now, one thing that is interesting about her that has changed is that, okay, Bratz TV, which is what produces this stuff, they decided to make a spring break movie. I've never seen that before. But what it does is that it takes the main female characters from their Brat TV shows and put them in a shared universe. And Zoe is one of them. So on this spring break thing that they went to, for the first time ever, other than that of Brody, Zoe is actually hanging out with people her own age and making friends with that of people her own age. Because she makes friends with this one girl who appears over and over in the second season. And she confides in her a lot of personal stuff that she just can't tell Brody. And so this kind of brings on a little bit of a change with her. Because when we see her in the second season, for starters, she no longer does magic now. Like, she still carries her cards around, but we never see her talk about magic, trying to attempt a magic trick, and we never see her do magic at all in this season. So that has now been like let go. A lot of stuff has been let go in this second season and just pushed aside. I guess they felt things were trying to get a little too edgy in the first season, so they dialed it down and watered down some stuff in this season. So back with her, so magic, boom, that's gone. She doesn't even really think about that no more. She is still upset about the death of her sister, but she's not really trying to think about it. And then when people do cause her to try to think about it, she kind of just like shuts them people off or like verbally put them down so they leave her alone and stuff. And like the dude who dated Chloe, he is still mourning her big time. His heart is just broken. So as a result, he goes to these therapy sessions, like a group therapy session, and he takes Zoe along with him. And she starts to like talk and everything until other things go on in her life, and she no longer wants to just constantly think about like her sister. So then one time she ends up not going. He gets upset at her, and she just gets really upset at him, and just kind of just like him, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like, like she lays it down to him about how like she doesn't want to think about her sister like 24/7 and like all this other stuff, like she got things going on in her life, and because she doesn't want to let this like weigh her down for the rest of her life, because it's hard because some people mourn differently. Some people feel like they should just be sad for the rest of their lives, and other people feel like, I don't want this to weigh me down. I have a life to live. This person who is dead wouldn't want me to just willow away and self pity and nothing like that. So it's kind of one of those things. So I get kind of where she's kind of like coming from, but at the same time, it made her look unlikable by the way she talked down to him and stuff. She really let out her anger with that dude. And so and it's kind of hard to want to feel for her when she does it in that kind of way. But then again, she is a teenager and she is human. She is learning. She is making mistakes. That is what we do in life. And she does come to the realization at some point, because he's not gonna let this go. Like he sends her like a video that Chloe wanted to have sent when she died to all her loved ones and stuff, and Cleo is one of them. And because he does, because I think there's like a Halloween party coming up, right? Yeah, this thing still goes at a fast pace, but it feels more slower this time. Like you can kind of tell when time passes a little bit. So Halloween was like a big thing for Cleo and everything, and so with it coming up, Zoe really doesn't want to think about that, like you know what I'm saying? Because she doesn't want to have that like depress her and stuff. Because she's young, she don't have to be depressed for the rest of her life, like you know what I'm saying? And so he sends that clip, and it kind of it makes her so happy and sad at the same time that where she comes to the realization she was wrong for how she talked to that dude and stuff. And she tells him, she apologizes and all this other stuff, and she decides she will start going back to the group therapy sessions because apparently she still needs them herself because her behavior this season is kind of like all over the place and stuff. And not only that, but in the beginning of this season, it is revealed that her and Milo broke up. Now, Milo is one of those casualties of the show that has been written off, and he is gone. Like you don't see him at all in the second season. He gets mentioned and stuff, but you don't see him. Another thing that gets dropped in this season is Allison. She has been completely written off. Apparently, her and Brody broke up. She broke up with him, and so like. It's funny because they broke up with them, but you think Milo and Allison would still appear in the series, but they don't. And so that pisses me off because they got rid of the Walking Dead girl. Y'all know how I feel about Walking Dead and stuff. And so I was pissed about that. And so like, so Isaac, he's teasing her in the beginning of the first couple of minutes, talking about how like, her and Milo breaking up, would this have anything to do with how she has a crush on Brody? She blushes, talking about like, she don't know what he's talking about because now Brody is now single. However, there's some more stuff going on with her this season. Her and Brody really didn't talk over the summer and stuff. They rarely talk, so she don't know what he's been up to. And when she sees him at school, I don't know if he saw her or not, but he doesn't like acknowledge her or nothing like that. And so that makes her sad at first. So then it's kind of like, okay, well, what's going on with them? So she's having all these like emotions going on, not to mention in the very beginning of this episode, in the first episode, she still narrates in the beginning of every episode, but she no longer does it at the end. And so when she's narrating, she can't decide what she wants to wear at school. She's talking about how, see, this is the kicker. New school year, new you, new personality, new style. So she's changing up all these clothes. One of them is goth with a nose ring of all things. That brief clip should let you know something is troubling her and stuff. Like most people just don't dress in goth just for the sake of dressing in goth. Some people do it as a lifestyle. Other people do it when they're sad and they're depressed. Especially people who dress very colorfully and stuff. I remember when I was in college, I dress in color and stuff like that, and whenever I'll be like, down the dumps. Next thing I know, remember, I was dressing all in black. This is how you feel. Your mood is black, you just want to dress in black. So that was an indication something is going on with her in this season. And so then you hear in the background her parents arguing and everything. You don't see them, but you just hear them as her door is closed. And she is sad. And so, like, a lot of stuff has happened to her in these couple of months. And so, and then things get made worse when her mom comes to her and it's kind of like, I know you've been hearing the arguments and everything. Me and your father is going to like take some time off apart. And she tells her that she is going to, like, her mom is going to move out and stay with her aunt. And she's going to take her little brother with her. And this really upsets Zoe. Zoe's just kind of like, why are you leaving? And why are you taking my little brother too? Everybody who she loves, family wise, is being taken from her. The only person she has is her dad, but she rarely interacts with him in the second season. And it's another casualty of things being dropped. The little brother, he's in this season. I don't remember him in this season, but he only appears like one time in this entire. Oh no, I remember it was outside playing catch because the dad had visitation rights, so they're playing catch and everything in the park or whatever. And we get to see her brother in one episode. Her dad, even though he is the one living with her, he is barely shown in this season. The mom gets taken out completely early of this season, and she only appears like twice, and well, three times. One time's in a flashback, but yeah, she barely appears. So it's kind of like, what's going on with this season? Why is everybody dropping like flies and stuff? And so now we see why, another reason why she's so upset and don't want to always think about Chloe, because she got all this other stuff going on. But also, if she thinks about Chloe, then she will fall in a straight depression and everything, you know? So she has all this stuff going on. And then the thing that's like the cherry on top is that, okay, she is making new friends at school, and they are around her age. So she's happy about that. And she's making friends all on her own, which is funny because, you know, back in the day, she didn't want to make friends. And so that's good growth for her making friends. She makes a friend named Rhea in math class. When she's playing with her magic cards, she's just shuffling them, and she sees Rhea with tarot cards. And so then she starts to get interested in tarot card reading. But that don't really go nowhere story-wise. And so, but then she becomes friends with Rhea. Then she becomes friends with this other girl named Viv. Viv, a very headstrong girl who loves the environment. And so Viv is on like the student council thing with her, with Zoe and Isaac. And so like they running for like student body president. And Zoe runs and she loses to Viv. What makes this even hurtful is because she finds out, because see, she saw a drawing that Viv had. She thought Viv drew it. She's like, no, my boyfriend did it. Then she sees the truth she didn't want to see. Viv is dating Brody. They started dating over the summer. This is where all his attention went, to where he didn't talk to Zoe during the summer. And so now Zoe's having to deal with the fact that this a dude she likes a lot, who she's been wanting to date, apparently, because in the first season she ain't act like she wanted to date him. In the first season, like, you can tell he liked her, but you couldn't tell she liked him. So then he is now with a girl who's not her enemy but her friend. And then her friend has also become something else that she wanted to be, the student body president. And then Viv is wanting to change a lot of stuff, especially with the Halloween parties and this and that, and that's not making Zoe like happy. So I get why she is upset and why she doesn't always want to think about her sister, because there's just too many emotions going on in that girl's head. And so that's good, but the problem with that is that this show dialed back is melodrama. See, it's almost like I said before, they like, oh, we're going a little too edgy in the first season, let's dial it back. This feels more now like a very, like, is it the first season felt more like a mature teen drama, a melodrama that just happens to be in a teen setting, whereas this one feels more like your traditional watered down like Nickelodeon type teen drama. It's all about love and jealousy and stuff like that, and all the serious stuff they don't want to show because they don't want to upset like the young people who might watch this and stuff. So you get the fact that there's problems going on in her parents' marriage with the arguments, but we don't see them argue. We hear them argue. And then, you know, we get the bomb of they're about to split up. And so, like, but we don't see how that affects them. You know what I'm saying? Because the show glosses completely over that, because they don't want it to be too intense for people. The dad's depression and him losing his job, that storyline is completely dropped. So, and then because, oh, they don't want to hurt the feelings of like the young people, you know what I'm saying? And I get it. This is a young franchise network, but when they started introducing all this like adult, mature, edgy stuff, it'd be nice if it was to pay off. You know what I'm saying? So me, the adult watching this, who got invested because of the melodrama and because of the lead actress, I need more. Cause teens or young people probably like, okay, whatever, this is fine for us. But then there's gonna be some of those teens that are mature and not still playing with like building blocks and stuff. Who's gonna want like a more serialized drama type stuff? So when they started dropping stuff, it kind of weakened storylines. Don't get me wrong, still a good show, but you know what I'm saying. And so, like with the whole Liv and Brody, Zoe thing, like we see a lot of jealousy coming from that of Zoe. A lot of jealousy. She is upset at Brody for not telling her that he had like a girlfriend, and keeping that secret. But when you're in a relationship and things going well and you're so happy, you gotta remember this dude was a super nerd in the first season. He somehow got like one of the most popular girls at school only get played by her, and now he gets another hot popular girl, and like he shouldn't be getting those because he's a nerd, so he's just like living it up, so he doesn't have time to tell her and stuff. It's not that he didn't want to really hurt her or nothing, it's just he got so invested he kind of just forgot, you know what I'm saying? He's living in the moment. And she doesn't realize that. And that's good for drama because she doesn't understand that. And a lot of other people in real life don't understand things like that either. And also you gotta remember, in real life, when you date somebody, you will rarely see your friend again. Now, if you're like the opposite gender of them, you probably won't see them ever again. But if you're the same gender, you will see them again. And one reason why you don't see them if they're the opposite gender is only because the other person might think you're trying to steal that person. And so that's normally what happens in real life. And then so she's now having to deal with the fact that, crap, this girl is my friend, but she's also dating my guy. And so when she confides in Autumn, the girl from the spring break, Autumn is just being kind of that like annoying type of best friend type thing, to where she thinks it's all the guy's fault, this and that, because Zoe isn't really giving her all the details and stuff. She thinks that Brody knew that Zoe had a huge crush on him, and he got with this girl anyway, and the girl just happened to be the friend. So when she sees Brody, Autumn lets him have it. She grills him. And he did nothing wrong. And then Zoe just kind of looking at her like, she told you, kind of that look on her face. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not a good like reward. Like the dude didn't do absolutely nothing wrong. And it's Zoe not letting her know everything. But then what makes matter worse is that off screen he apologized to Autumn. Why? It's not his fault. I mean, Zoe did the exact same thing kind of in the first season when she went to that party and stuff and didn't tell Brody, and then she started dating Milo and didn't tell Brody. And to make matters worse, Viv overheard all this that Autumn told him. So now she knows something is up. She knows that, they have feelings for each other or something like that. And then so to make things worse, this season feel like it's almost fan fiction. It's kind of like, okay, they want people to have their happy ending. So without even a fight, Viv breaks up with like Brody so he can be with that of Zoe. She didn't even fight for him, and she actually likes him. But then we find off when Brody tells her, Zoe, something that, him and Viv is so differently, and she doesn't like the shows he likes, and he doesn't like that. So it's like we never saw that. Because when we see Brody and Viv together, they're happy, madly in love, like gushing over each other and stuff. Like they're in a happy spot. So all this stuff that they didn't like about each other, that was completely off screen, and the show didn't give us that, and it would have been nice to see that. That's better writing, in my opinion. And I know I'm being very critical. This is just like a little kiddie teen drama, but still, the fact that they went in that more mature line puts my mind in that mature line. If they would have kept it in the kiddie boppy type stuff, then I would have been okay, fine, whatever. But I'm trying to help because this is how a lot of these brat shows are. Crown Lake is the same thing. They want to be edgy, they want to go there, but then they somebody pulls the writers back on like a rope. They're like, hey, get back here. You're getting a little too edgy for these little kids and stuff. And so then it kind of takes away from all that fun, when you start to get invested in the more mature storylines, you know what I'm saying? But then Zoe ends up becoming a hypocrite because she starts to go off on her own little adventure and starts to kind of date somebody too. See, Rhea is related to a guy named Riggs. Rhea is white, Riggs is black, and they are both adopted. Now he mentions they were both adopted by both their moms, meaning that they are their parents are two lesbian like moms. I'm okay with that. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? This is modern day. Plus, they're humans. You know what I'm saying? People shouldn't get so bent out of shape about that. Oh, somebody has two moms. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? My only problem with this was you show, you don't tell. I don't understand what's up with modern TV that feel they have to tell every LGBT situation that's going on without us seeing it first. Because this is happening in another show I was watching where this guy just randomly talking to a girl that he likes, and he's all like, I have two dads. Nobody in real life just comes out and say that without it relating to whatever the topic is you're talking about. Like if you're talking about like your parents and do this and do that, then you mention, okay, fine, oh, my two dads, they're like this and they're like that. That's fine. But in the context of real people talking in dialogue, you don't have people just come out and say, I have two parents of the same gender. That's not realistic, and it's better to show, not to tell. So it would have been nice to see them. Now we do get to see the two parents later on. I'll get to that a little bit later. So I don't understand why they tell people. It's the same thing with pronouns. Like when I saw this one show, this one girl introduced herself and then she introduced her pronoun. And I'm just like, that's not realistic. People don't do that. At least I've never seen a person do that, but I've only seen that done on TV. So I think it's great they want to have LGBT representation and all this other stuff, but it's better. It's the old rule of Hollywood. You show, you don't tell. You let us see it for ourselves and experience it and this and that. And when you tell us stuff, exposition, then it gets kind of like, ugh. Like, you're not my teacher. Like, don't try to teach me nothing. I'm not in school no more. And everything. It's like, just show us. We like to see things, you know what I'm saying? And so I do think that is great that they have representation and stuff. Now I will get to the parents later because they're really cool. And I will get into Isaac. I know I haven't talked about him yet. And so, because he's like the other storyline. And so like, what is it? So Rhea, she wants her brother to start dating Zoe for some bizarre reason. So when she finds out that he had to grade her paper in school, she put a heart on it. So when he gave it back to her, he didn't know that, and she saw it, and she started asking, what does this mean? And everything. They're like, well, duh, he likes you and stuff. She's like, he does? So she starts to, you know how people are. When they're not really into somebody, they find out somebody likes them and then they start liking somebody. So then she asked him out, which freaks him out. He's just kind of like, what is this about? And then, so like, she doesn't understand what the world's going on with that. But then he later on invites her to dinner to meet his moms and stuff. And so we get the interaction with the two moms and Zoe and Rhea. And the two moms are like really cool and everything. But then they start asking her a bunch of questions about like her sister. And so we see when it comes to Rhea and Riggs that Rhea loves to set him up with people. She's done this before. It pisses him off. And so the moms are going to talk to her about that. And so when Zoe finds out from Riggs that Rhea did that, Zoe ain't happy. Zoe is just kind of like, she gets mad at Rhea. It's all like, why did you do this for? Like, this is what started me liking him and me asking him out. And he would have never asked me out to dinner if it wasn't for you because he didn't even like me at that time. And so she's pissed, and so they decide so it's just Riggs and Zoe decided just gonna be friends, and like that's it, you know what I'm saying? But then he secretly does start to like her when he starts kind of like look back at her. See, this is a thing that happens in real life. Like you say you don't like somebody, like you just see somebody and you don't like them for whatever reason. Then you find out they like you. And then all of a sudden, your mind gets kind of tricked into thinking you like them and stuff. And that's kind of what's going on with them. So I like that realistic aspect of it. At least they're keeping it real and stuff like that. And so, and it would have been nice for her to move on from the whole Brody thing. But like I said before, I just feel like it's fan fiction. Like people just want to see her and Brody get together. That would have been fine in the first season. But in the first season, she clearly was not into him and stuff like that. And so let's get into Isaac. He's the last storyline before I wrap this up. Isaac is still in this show, but he's kind of barely in it. Like he pops in and he pops out. He rarely hangs out with Zoe, but when he does, they have like great times and stuff because that's somebody he's close with. And so he reveals he's been dating a guy over the summer and he's really happy. Now they do his storyline very justice because in the first season he's very terrified of coming out. Terrified, and the expressions on his face are like amazing, what you would call acting. Like he really sells it and stuff. And so only three people knew his secret. That was Chloe, who the one who told him to beard her, Zoe, and then Milo. And he had to tell Milo because Milo was pissed and ready to end the friendship because Isaac asked Zoe out, and Milo liked Zoe. So in this season, he's all smiles and all this and that. He's not, for the most part, getting along that much with Viv because she keeps trying to change stuff when it comes to like the school and this and that. And there's a certain way they do things. Now, he still hasn't told Boots because Boots is still Boots. He's still his jerky type stuff, you know what I'm saying? But he's not making no homophobic remarks like he did in the first season, like picking on people for the most part of being gay because Milo's not there no more. So they dialed that back just like they did in the first season. Now, like I said before, Boots, he's not physically abusive. He's just kind of like a jerk, but he's kind of like but he it's almost like he doesn't mean no harm when he's being like a jerk. He's just being like a stupid guy, you know what I'm saying? And so that's one reason why Isaac is like friends with him and stuff. And despite like, Boots always making fun of like this one dude for like, being gay when he wasn't and stuff. And then so in the second season, Boots still don't know. Then something happens. Eric, the name of like Isaac's guy, decides he's gonna surprise him at school with flowers and stuff. Now Elliot knows that Isaac doesn't want to come out, but he does it anyway. He kind of forces him to do it in front of the entire school. And so Boots is seeing all this, he's like, oh, that's your delivery guy and everything, getting flowers from girls. And then out of nowhere, Isaac finally decides to tell everybody in school he's gay. And this is his boyfriend, and they kiss. To Boots' dismay, he walks off. Now, I do have a problem with Elliot exposing like Isaac like that. You know what I'm saying? But then this is the part that's a little unrealistic story-wise telling. Because in the first season, Isaac is terrified for people to know. He does not want people to know at all. Like if people know, he will have a heart attack type thing. Now, because he was put on the spot, he's just like, I don't care. And he tells everybody. There's no consequences to that. It's fan fiction written in a bow to make everybody happy. And so I would have liked a little bit more drama that maybe he would probably upset. Maybe he would like have like a nervous breakdown, like something, you know what I'm saying? And so then with Boots, this is what's really interesting. Boots tells him, we need to talk, man. And so they go to like a place, like a restaurant looking place, and they talk. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's he gonna tell him? Like he's gonna be upset, this and that, or be questioning like, why are you like this? That would have been in a normal adult drama, you know what I'm saying? But since this is a kiddie drama, and they're pulling back the ropes, Boots is totally okay with it. He's all like, oh man, I'm such a jerk for like always making fun of gay people and stuff like that, and you're my best friend and blah 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 blah. Now I will say it is refreshing to a certain degree to see Boots okay with this, because normally in adult dramas the person is not okay with it, they're pissed at that person, they don't talk to that person, then halfway they start to accept that person. We've seen that a million times before, and it gets kind of old and stale. So this is a nice, refreshing take on that, to where Boots is just kind of like, oh, I am in the wrong for always making fun of this and that. And you are cool, and because see, if him and Isaac hadn't been friends for so many years, he probably never been cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But then Boots does something a little unexpected and a little too fictional for me. He calls up Elliot and he sets up a dinner arrangement for Isaac and Elliot, and he has like a cloth on the table and like candles, stuff like that, and maybe a flower. And that rarely happens in real life, man. Come on now. And also, how did he get Elliot's phone number? He doesn't even know the dude. He goes to a completely different school. So Elliot and, I should say Isaac, he gets his happy ending. So that's great and everything. His friends accepting of him and everything like that. Now we have to get to the actual Halloween dance thing. So with Zoe and with Chloe's ex-boyfriend Dave made up, they're all dressed in their Halloween costumes and they're at the party. Now, this is the part where I say it gets dialed back and pulled back. Remember how I said in the first season you can clearly tell they were at a team party, and you can tell what might be in the cups even though they don't say what's in the cups, and you can tell why some people look the way they do even though you don't see no smoke in the air. You don't see nobody drinking nothing in this until you finally do. You only see two people holding cups, and then you see Zoe get some punch out the punch bowl. They letting you know that, hey, there ain't no alcohol in this show. They pulled that back from the first season. And so, like, so what's going on with Zoe now is her mom has come back. Her mom has said her and her dad just need some time apart, and they're back together. See, this is like written for like fan fiction to make everything all happy and a nice little bow. So there's no consequences to them and their argument and stuff like that. So that got wrapped up easily. But now it's time for Zoe. Her and Viv are still cool. She lets her know that they're broken. Her and Brody are like broken up. And we see Brody, he wants to talk to Zoe. He tells her, like he's been like, a jerk for not talking to her over the summer, letting her know about the whole Viv thing. She's like, no, I've been a jerk too. So at least she's starting to realize the thing she was doing wasn't cool. And so, like, then he tells her, but it is this girl he likes, and he's known her for 10 years. She's amazing. She's beautiful. She's funny. She's smart. And she's into magic. And, of course, it's Zoe. He asks her out. And she just stares and looks at him. And you think it's going to end, but it don't. It's them two slowly walking back into the dance. They're not holding hands or nothing. And then as they're standing next to each other, both are looking awkward and kind of like, what the world is going on here? The camera pans down to their hands, and their two pinkies slowly touch, holding each other by the pinky, letting the viewers know that they are going to get in a relationship. And of course, it ends because there's no season 3 because of the you-know-what virus and stuff. And so it's like, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna stay together? If not. And so I think this was still a good season. It's still a good series. It's just not perfect because it is written for like a kids level type thing. And they're holding their punches. Like, they're ambitious in the first season and they just dialed everything back in the second. Not only that, but so many storylines and people just disappeared. Milo disappeared. Allison disappeared. The two girls that knew Chloe disappeared. All of her friends have pretty much disappeared. The mom disappears. The dad disappears during the show. The brother disappears. Isaac sometimes disappears. And then we get these new characters that's because like Rhea and Riggs barely show up in this season. It's mostly just about Zoe, Brody, Viv, and Chloe's ex, whose name I keep forgetting and stuff. And so this became more of a teen drama, romance, jealousy type series and stuff. And it's all about all the emotions going on with Zoe. And that girl got a lot of emotions going on. So I understand why she gets kind of upset at people at times. But at the same time, it's kind of like you're getting upset at some people for things they really haven't even done. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part of life. You make your mistakes and then you learn from them and everything. And so it would have been nice if there was more melodrama. It would have been nice if there were more characters that we remember from the first season. Because, one thing Zoe keeps saying is that, like, she's happy. She finally has her own friends now that are not that are her sister, because all her friends from the first season are older and they're her sister friends. So now we get to see the person that Zoe is becoming. And it would have been great to have a third season, because it's kind of like, where is her life is going to go after that? She now has her own friends. She now has the guy who apparently she's been secretly in love with and stuff like that, but never shows it because she's always dating other people and stuff. What's going to go on with her parents? How much is she going to let her sister's life affect her and stuff, or the death of her sister affect her? So it's kind of like, it would have been great to see where this is going to go, but of course that's never going to happen now and stuff. So that sucks. All the other brat shows are continuing, but this one's not. One of the reasons could be, but because the actress, like I said, she's doing all those movies, like Descendants, and what's that boy movie called? Something I Never Liked You, but something. I forgot the name of those. I just said in the last video, but I forgot the name of those movies. She's doing all those sequels to the movies and stuff. So she's starting to be a little busy and everything. And so, like, yeah, I still think this is a good season. I like how they built up on some things. I hate how they pulled some things back. It would have been nice to have some great resolution and some more build up to the things that happened in the first season. I gotta watch that Spring Break movie. Like, what the world did she do on there, and stuff? Because, like, when you watch, if you don't watch that and then you come in here and you see Autumn, you're gonna be like, well, who the heck are you? And stuff, you know. And then but then, like I said, for fan fiction again, like, her and Viv are still friends, and if her and Brody gonna be dating, like, Viv is okay with that. Come on now, like, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, it just would have been, because, like, she has no enemies this season when she had one last season. And it really feels like they got a little too edgy in the first, and somebody pulled them back and everything. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.